You know,
Why
you're
am I
not.
dangerous?
But because first of all, you're a filmmaker. First of
Yep.
all, you're connected.
Yep.
You've got after talking with you for an hour and a half, I think you've got a proper view on it. You know, where there's a we agree that there's a problem in this country,
Right.
and we are looking for answers. I'm looking for answers.
And the truth is dangerous.
Always has been. Yes.
It
There's
sets
a
you. It will set you free, but it's dangerous at the same time to
and
other people.
to for if you add the fact that you're Jewish and you're on a talk show with somebody that they're screaming is anti-Semitic, that I'm a hater, that I'm a racist, that I'm all this, none of which is true.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like what happened. I was in Tucson for a little while and
Yep.
doing some motorcycle oriented things, and suddenly I got suddenly I was selling my book to raise money for a snitch named Huevos.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, don't know any snitch named Huevos. Don't know. It was just something to try to screw me up with the biker community.
I see. I see. Boy, how big is the biker community? By the way, this. What is the biker community? Now I feel like now I'm interviewing you. What? But how big? I'm curious. How big is the biker community, and where are they? They're all over
They're
the
all
place,
over the
obviously.
place. They're all over the place. The whole Harley cult. Suddenly, you know, when I started riding 45, 50 years ago, you know,
Yeah.
I got hassled just for having a leather jacket on.
Yeah. Right.
And today, with this, it's just not quite that bad.
You mean as far as being hassled?
Yeah, because a lot of
Yeah. Okay.
doctors and lawyers and
Oh
policemen are
yeah.
riding. You know, I mean, I just saw
Oh.
a club. Matter of fact, I got them up on my Facebook site called the Bad Pigs, and it's a law enforcement group. You know, the Blue Knights Law
Yeah.
Enforcement Group. So we've got a
Yeah.
lot of people, a big cross section of America, simply likes the freedom and I guess the danger of riding around on two wheels, getting a lot better gas mileage.
Yeah. When I was young, This is kind of a silly story, but I'll tell it to
Okay,
you anyway. When
let
I
me
was
get
young.
this back up. Let me get this back
Right.
up. We lost revolution. I'll bring that back here,
Okay.
and hopefully that'll work. I this has been this talk about if I was paranoid, if I was just paranoid, you know, this whole thing for AT&T,
Yeah.
this would be a this would be a conspiracy right here. I've had four techs come out to hook this line up, and I still can't get the bandwidth and the range, the kilobytes uh, that I need to do the show properly. I can't get that here. I mean,
Yeah.
this is after 5 days of talking to AT&T, on the line
Hmm.
with AT&T, four techs sent out, and none of them did the job right.
Yeah. Where are you located
I'm
again?
located
Someplace.
in Corpus Christi, Texas,
Yeah. Okay.
right now.
Yeah. So is the problem with being in Corpus Christi, or is it just AT&T dealing with them? They're screwing up somehow.
Well, I don't know. It was AT&T that almost got me killed, and we just had a problem with the call. You can still hear me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but it dropped. Evidently, it
Are,
dropped
pe-
revolution. What did I drop here? What did I
are
drop?
people able to are people able to call in to the show or no?
Yeah, generally they do, but I've had a producer up until today, and today I'm not. I don't have a producer, and the
Oh,
call keeps going down, and I don't know what's going on here.
I see.
Okay, Okay, what have I got here? Jesus Christ. I don't understand this. We got another problem.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host pin when finished.
Okay,
I'm sorry, but I did not hear you press at least.
Our menu has recently changed. Please listen.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay, alright, looks like I'm back up on everything now. What a pain in the ass. Alright, can someone not inform me? Yeah, blog's always been, no, it ain't blog and it ain't revolution here, folks.
Yeah.
So it's, sorry about that, but it's what happens when you
Yeah. I'm
are
not
the true American. Beg pardon? Great. Great. Okay, what do we do here? Alright.
Hello.
Alright, we're trying to. It dropped you this time. It's just selecting it. Selecting one. I got 3 people on the Skype line. That should be no problem whatsoever. And yet, I got the Revolution and Blog Talk on today, but this time it dropped you, Mark. So maybe they're being selective here. I don't know. Again, what do you see? I mean, we've talked about a lot of the different problems here, and I get the sense that you would like to see.
Breaking up bad, Coin. Breaking up really bad.
All right,
Call me back.
I'll call you right back.
Hello.
Is that working? Can you hear me?
No, you're breaking up bad.
Still breaking up? Okay, I don't know.
Yep, breaking up.
Alright, hold on.
I can hear about whatever. I can't hear 90% of you.
I'll call you back. I'll get you back here in just a few minutes here. Let me switch phones.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host pin. When finished, press the pound key. I'm sorry, but I did not hear you press at least 4 digits of your PIN number.
Our menu has recently changed. Please listen.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
One seed that needs to be planted. What are we doing live? Here goes the time. Revolution Radio. FreedomSlips.com.
All right, Mark. Hopefully you can hear me now.
Yeah, it's a little still breaking up a little bit though.
Okay, just a minute. Let the music stop playing here from Revolution, and we'll see if you can hear me a little bit.
Okay.
If this doesn't work on this one, I'll switch computers, and we'll see if we can do something on that. So,
yeah.
But meanwhile, we're on now, and we've restarted the modem and restarted everything. In our conversations, again, I feel like you would like to do something, and the reason I said I thought you were the most dangerous guest I have is because as you confided to me that you were Jewish, and yet I don't sense animosity. I feel common sense. I feel good intentions. You know, kind of taking a page out of the Beach Boys. You know, good vibration.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. Listen. My attitude toward people is, I will listen to anybody. I'll talk to anybody, and the more you communicate.
Uh-oh. We lost again. All right, can you hear me now, Mark? Hello, Mark.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I've got you on a different computer here, and still recording on the other two, so everything's fine, and I can hear you.
Right.
And we'll try this. I got a backup computer here. Again, my guest is Marc Berlin, and any rate, I feel like if I had a gentleman on just the other day. I mean, I've had some really great guests on, and he was talking about the Muslim, talking about the way maybe our mainstream press or our War Department, Homeland Security. And speaking of war, Homeland Security has bought all these bullets. Homeland Security is bought all these tanks. They spend a lot of money, and all of those troops and all those people and all of those police SWAT teams are here in America right now. Doesn't that make you nervous?
Yes. I don't like anything about tanks or guns. I'm a pacifist. I don't like when I get stopped for a traffic violation. I get very nervous. I don't like. I'm an anti-authoritarian in any way, shape, or form. I don't like authority. That's why I became a writer. So when you tell me there, now who did you say is getting tanks and bullets?
The Department of Homeland Security. They've got over 1 billion rounds of hollow point ammunition that they ordered.
For what?
Us,
When are they going to be done?
evidently, they've also ordered emergency meals, MREs, emergency packs of water, that kind of thing.
Well, so they're expecting some sort of huge internal revolt of some kind?
I believe so. I think they are worried about a revolt, and they're trying to stir up the revolt at the same time in Syria. We're supporting Al Qaeda. Suddenly, after Al Qaeda being our enemy all through Iraq and Afghanistan, suddenly you got McCain shaking hands with them in Syria.
When? Oh boy, I don't like the sound of that.
Well,
It's terrible. Well, you had asked me before the line broke up a little bit, Clay. You were asking me about, I'm Jewish and therefore, but I sound okay. Listen, I'll talk to anybody, anywhere, about anything, of any political or ethnic stripe. Here they are. But if they're interested in having a give and take, that's what I'm. Remember William F. Buckley?
who's that?
William F. Buckley. Do you remember?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah, he used to have this show on. You're probably old enough to remember or young enough. He had this program on PBS called Firing Line. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
And he was a conservative. Buckley was a conservative, but he would have people on from all different political stripes. He would have conservatives. He would have liberals. He would have poets. He would have authors and politicians. He would have everybody you can imagine on his show. But he was a conservative, and it was one of the best shows I think that was ever on television anywhere. And he said in one of his shows, he said, "Listen, I'll have anybody on as a guest." But he said a lot of people don't want to be on my show because they don't want to be, they don't like confrontation of any kind, or they don't want to be questioned. They don't want a free give and take of information. And that's why a lot of guests that you think might be on the show aren't on the show. They don't want to come and talk to me. So I use as my model him when I'm talking to people. I'll talk to anybody because it probably, if you disagree with me at the beginning, it's probably going to be a better show. Yep. It's going to be more interesting. So that's my attitude for it. But I didn't know this information you just told me. They're amassing armaments or bombs or guns or
They have amassed enough hollow point ammunition to kill every man, woman, and child in the United States. And this is Homeland Security. We've just had Snowden. They've called him they're trying to call him a traitor because he told us that and told the world that we're tapping everybody's phones. I've always operated under that assumption that every phone I use is tapped, and every four-wheeler out there is trying to kill me. So.
Yeah.
But they are staging for war now. In the first film that I did a documentary called True Face of FEMA. I filmed Homeland Security meeting, the first one. And Colonel John Brinkerhoff is lecturing law enforcement and telling them, well, we're in a war here. It's going to be a long war. It may be longer than the Cold War. And the enemy's weak. The enemy doesn't have tanks, planes, helicopters, so the enemy will use unconventional methods. And we're going to need 400,000 well-armed, well-trained, organized, disciplined troops to control the American people. Are you talking about the National Guard, Colonel? No, they're too expensive. And besides, they're going to be over in Iraq or Afghanistan or someplace like that, out of this country.
Okay. Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you a question about the Second Amendment. your view on the Second Amendment? I think I know what it is, but why don't you just tell me?
The Second Amendment is what protects all of the other amendments. If you want your freedom, you have to be able to bear arms, and those are God-given rights. That's the way they outlined it in our Bill of Rights. It's our God-given rights. And I started the militia after what happened at Waco because I saw 17 little children murdered by agents wearing uniforms. I saw 50 caliber bullet holes in the ceiling of their living room filled with children and families, and they killed almost 100 people there. I swore I couldn't stand and sit back and look at that, see that happen again. Second Amendment. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, Clay.
Go ahead. What? Sorry, you just broke up there on me. Call dropped. Hang on. Separate modems. Separate modems. Separate Skype. Separate modems. AT&T here. Clear here. Nothing. Still working on it. Still trying to get this out.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Like I said, you're a dangerous guest, Mark.
I know. They're trying to shut me down. Somebody is.
Well, we're not arguing. We're not arguing. We're looking for solutions. We're not arguing, and I think that just scares the hell out of them. You know, again, it don't matter. It don't matter. You know, what the name of your God is. It doesn't matter. You know, it's doesn't matter.
So before we got
go ahead.
Before we got disconnected, Clay, I wanted to ask you this question. So on the Second Amendment, we were talking about that. You would agree, or maybe you don't agree, but would you agree that the Second Amendment is sort of vague?
Sort of vague?
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's always been this.
I don't agree with that, but
there's
go
always
ahead.
been this on-running debate about the Second Amendment as far as what a well-regulated militia means. Right?
Well, according to our laws, our public laws, the militia is every able-bodied male between the ages 18 and 45. That's been codified. They codified the militia after they wrote that. And
so that's the definition of a well-regulated militia.
Yeah, every able-bodied man under the command of your governor or your sheriff. Now, what's been happening lately, since I helped start the militia, and I started the militia in New Mexico in the governor's office. I did it the proper way. It wasn't no terrorist organization. Yeah. And
now
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the second part of that statement is, it appears, though, that based on court cases regarding the Second Amendment over the years, that appears that there's an issue regarding what the Founding Fathers exactly or precisely meant by a well-regulated militia, as stated in as vis-a-vis the Second Amendment. There's some debate about what that means, which has caused all the problems regarding the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment. So that's the first part of my statement. The second part of my statement is it possible, like the 18th Amendment, or whatever the amendment was, having to deal with prohibition, which was a disaster, is it possible that the Founding Fathers made an error in including the Second Amendment in the Constitution? Is that possible?
I don't think they made an error. I don't think they were expecting and could really expect the kind of opposition that we have today.
Right.
with the media and the control of our money.
Right. Right. Right.
And what we're seeing there, I mean, can you tell me what exactly is the difference? Now, we lost 60 million white Russians under the Bolshevik Revolution,
Yep.
under Stalin.
Yep.
And what's the difference is? What's the difference between communism and fascism? I mean, we point the finger at Hitler a lot, but fascism is corporations working with government. You know, can you say, Archer Daniels Midland, Brown and Root, Raytheon? These corporations are working for the government. They're making money off us, and they're using it. They're using us to create wars with people that never done nothing to us. There's no reason for us to be in Iraq or Iran, for that matter. Iran hasn't invaded anybody in a long time, and who knows who. Without a scorecard here, you can't tell who the bad guys are in Syria at all. It's like they're keeping the pot stirred and muddied in order to keep us fighting with each other. You know what? Obviously you like to dance, Clay, so you're not a good Baptist. You know, you need to be a good Baptist, or you need to be a good Methodist, or you need to be a good Muslim here and do what everybody else does. I'm more of the I am more on the side of the individual and our rights to live the way we want. You know, riding a motorcycle may not be for everybody, but don't mean I'm a bad guy because I wear leather to keep my skin on if I fall down.
Yeah. Well, fascism is a relatively new phenomenon. So from the early 20th century, I believe, if I remember my history.
Yes.
Right. And it's supposed to be a one-party police state is the ultimate form of fascism. That's what they have over there in North Korea now and a lot of other places. But I don't think we're a fascistic state yet, but it could easily be that way if like I said before, if the corporations get increasingly powerful, if there's a strong... Did you see Elysium, that new movie yet?
I beg your pardon? Run right back?
Did you see that new science fiction movie yet called Elysium?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd like to go to the movies, but there's a new movie out called Elysium with Matt Damon.
Okay.
And it's kind of I saw it about a week ago. It's kind of when it opened. It's kind of an interesting movie. I mean, it has certain flaws in it, but it's essentially what happens is it draws a picture of Earth in, I think, 2054, where all the rich people have fled the Earth, which is descended into chaos, essentially. The rich people, all the rich people, this sliver, the 1%, have fled to a space station, a gigantic space station that's revolving around here. And they have all the money, and they have a nice idyllic existence up there in space, and everybody's beautiful, and they have all the money, and they even have machines that make you 100% better if you have cancer. But at the same time, down on Earth, they have everything is a mess, a chaotic mess, where Matt Damon lives. And he has to get back. He wants to. He works at a big factory, and he's been zapped with a bunch of radiation in his job, and the only way he's going to live is if he gets up to Elysium and goes into one of these machines they have up there who can cure him, can rid his body of all the radiation. That's essentially the story. And but it paints a picture of what could happen, because and it's sort of what's going on now on Earth. Or in the United States anyway. You have this very rich group who are sort of living in their penthouses in the big cities, and then you have all the other people that are poor out there, and the rich people use a police force to control, to occasionally pop into the chaos and make things go the way they want them to. So I think it's sort of an interesting little peek into the future. I think we're maybe even closer than 2054 to something like that. What do you think?
I think we're getting really close. I think something's happening this year. All of the buzz uh, is that they're canceling leaves for our troops, that they are canceling, they're not allowing anybody any time off through August and September. So I
Yes.
think something's about to happen.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. What do you think's about to happen? What do you think is going to be
I think there's going to
war or what?
I think we're going to have a world war. I think they've been planning on that. I think this is what the whole Middle East thing is about. We've been divided up, and they've been working on the economy. You've heard of the BRIC, BRIC?
Yep.
That's Brazil, Iran, China, Argentina. You know, these people are moving against these world bankers, these globalist bankers. One world government of the banksters, by the banksters, and for the banksters. Even Aaron Russo warned us that Nicholas Rockefeller wanted to chip everybody. You know, and they've got commercials for it. For my God, you know, now we. George used to forget his medication, but now we got this little chip, HealthLink, and that's written into one of the scenarios written into Obamacare. Also, by the way, did you know under Obamacare they can actually come into your house? They can come into your house to inspect your house if you're under Obamacare.
Oh my God, I didn't hear that.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. Are you sure about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's written up. We've and there's oh my God, the list of things that are happening here. I could probably I probably got a lot of it up on my Facebook, but it's pretty incredible. They're going after. One of the answers that I came up with was we need to start growing our own food, putting solar on our roofs, so if the electric lines all blow down, you still got power. If the trucks stop running, you still got food to feed your family, and if you do it right, you can share. You can even share it with your neighbors. I'd like to see the self-sufficient family farms, the foundation of every civilization, restored. But they're passing laws right now. They're passing laws and they're passing regulations, and they're trying to prevent that. They, as a matter of fact, let me show you here. Up on my Facebook, I've got a couple of things about Obama. I mean, you know, how will you remember Obama? 9.5 million dropped out of the workforce, 15,000 more on food stamps, the gas prices have doubled. I mean, and he's not even the impetuous behind this, you know. This is all happening on another level here. It's let's see what I was looking at here is they sent a SWAT team into Texas. They sent a SWAT team into Texas, and I think let's see what did they haul here? What was their haul? They sent a SWAT team in to a organic farmer. No pot, no drugs, nothing like that. But they seized. Let's see what was 17 organic blueberry bushes, 15 organic okra plants at Popular Organic Farm. They spent 10 hours raiding and seizing blackberry bushes and organic okra plants. This is a fully armed SWAT team that they sent in. They are trying to prevent farmers. They are trying to keep you isolated as individuals. They want you afraid. They want you They want you to prepare, and they don't want you to think about working together, preparing together. I mean, just think about the Vietnamese who are getting their farms bombed. They fought us to a standstill using these little villages to feed them, clothe them, and keep them fed and keep them armed. I think we need to think the same way here, because we do have Russian troops in this country. We probably have Chinese troops in this country. And we certainly got German troops in this country. Why are they here? Why are they training with Americans in cities like L.A., probably up in Boston? That whole thing was probably a training maneuver. And you don't know what country these black-suited, black-armored people have. You don't know.
Did you say a second ago that there are German troops in the U.S. Training alongside American troops? Did you say that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In Alamogordo, New Mexico, you got the troops there. The German troops have a base in Alamogordo.
Yeah, I did not. That's interesting. And why do you specifically? Why do you think the German troops are training?
They are being trained in case of domestic unrest. Now, we just had the largest uprising in history, and 15 million people on the streets in Egypt. And right now, anybody that supported the old president is being hunted down and killed. We don't know. We don't really know who the good guy was. Was it Marc? They're letting him out of jail. Was it this Brotherhood guy that they had in there, Morsi? They just kicked him out. The people kicked him out. The army kicked him out, and now they're going after Morsi reporters. What's going to happen here if they find Barack Obama guilty of treason? What if they find a document and it's already been proved his birth certificate was a forgery? If the blacks rise up on behalf of Barack Obama, when most of the white people think he has sold them out, are they setting us up for total warfare here, civil war here? I think that's what they're doing. I think that's what they're doing, and they'll.
What would be the purpose of the German troops in that scenario? They would be here to help our government.
Yeah. Yeah, they would. They're probably all members of the Rapid Strike Force, the UN Rapid Strike Force.
Yes.
And that could be why they were teaching Chinese troops to speak English. And what did Henry Kissinger tell you? You know, and today, they'd be outraged. Tomorrow, they'll be calling. Americans will be calling for UN troops to protect them from their rioting. If the financial system goes down, if your credit cards and debit cards don't work, either from an EMP or because somebody flicked a switch at Microsoft, what do? They predicted an EMP attack on America would end up killing millions of Americans. They would die when their credit cards, when their gas cards didn't work, when the grocery stores ran out of food.
Oh yeah, that would be a disaster. An EMP attack by who?
Could be anybody. Could be the sun. Doesn't have to be anybody. We've got nuclear weapons. The nuclear weapons will release a nuclear bomb, whether it comes from Israel or whether it comes from Iran, blown up in the middle of the country up about 5 miles, and you've got the whole country blacked out from the EMP blast, and the sun can do the same thing.
I don't know if an EMP, I think it would have you. How broad an effect does an EMP attack have? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't think it's more than maybe 20 miles. So they'd have to do it over every major city, wouldn't it? And it'd have to be the Russians. I think it would have to be the Russians.
Could be the Russians, it could be the Chinese. They've also got South Korea and Iran set up to be the fall guys, or North Korea.
Yeah.
They've got them set up to be the fall guys. I mean, again, the bankers finance both sides. And the only way I can see that we can keep this apart, I would like to see co-ops set up here so we can buy together, save money, get things a little cheaper by buying in bulk. Set up a co-op and push and sell and encourage people to get solar and wind on their homes. Make your home into a power generating plant.
Yeah.
Sell it back to the power companies.
Yeah.
And if you grow your own food, you're getting healthy food. This is the way we've done it for thousands of years. Ain't necessarily high tech. And if we work together and communicate with each other so we get the right seeds, we can shut down Monsanto. We can, if you grow your own food, generate your own power, you don't need the government or the banks for nothing.
Yeah. Well, you're making me nervous here.
Well,
I was nervous already, but now I'm even more nervous.
Check out Free American 69 on Facebook. Read what they're doing. I mean, this assault on the farmers. Now it's doing. It's even they're going after the small farms. That's all a threat to the GMO modified. And you know that Monsanto was suing farmers because a little bit of their seed, genetically modified seed, blew in and contaminated the farmers' crops. And we've got no legal recourse to go after Monsanto. The government covered them with the legislation. But if you're interested, go ahead.
An EMP strike. I was doing a little research here while you were talking, Clay. An EMP strike, I think, is only effective with a line of sight.
Okay.
So if you were depending on how high it is. If it's in the stratosphere, it's going to be pretty far. But if it's relatively low, it's within a line of sight. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead. Keep going.
It's a danger that's out there, and I think if we all work together, we can offset this and offset the dangers by strengthening our communities, strengthening our town. I said, Liberty Village isn't a new concept. It's actually exists all around the country. They're called small town America. And all the farms that grew up around these small towns, all of that are to be strengthened. They are to be encouraged to grow hemp again. We've got, that was $1 billion crop back in the 30s. It's $1 trillion crop here now. We just need to take it away from the drug dealers and give it back to the people. And if you want to do that, I got movies to make about that.
Oh boy. Well, I was in the movie business for a while. I don't think I'm going to run back to it, if you know what I mean.
All right. We're out of time here. Just about. Got about a minute or so. And we've got your... you got your site up. Got the links up there. Pass it on to people. Stay in touch and love to have you back on.
Okay, well, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. Love your show.
Okay, that's markberlin.net and obamaconfidential.com. Mark, thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.